I love you, but you're not allowed to bring your boyfriend over to my house anymore. That's what she wants to tell, like one of her best friends here, and she wants your advice. If there's something going on in your life that's traumatic or you want some advice on it, go ahead, send it to us at thebertshow.com, and we will turn around and get you advice from an entire country of people that are unqualified to give you guys advice. Hit us up at thebertshow.com. Dobby's got the email.
Hey, Bert Show. I've loved listening to your show for the past year. Mo tells the best stories. I'd love your insight on a little issue I'm having. How do I tell my friend that her boyfriend is no longer welcome in my home? A few weeks ago, I had a gathering at my house and invited a few of my friends. Everyone is not part of the same friend group, so there were a few people there who knew me, but not everyone else. The evening was going really well. We had a great time playing Taboo. You got to really trust people to play Taboo with them. Do you agree? I have lost some friends.
Wait, which one is Taboo?
Yeah, I know I've seen it, but I don't know if I've played it.
You flip the card up and it's got like Tom Cruise, but you can't say Top Gun. You can't say Mission Impossible. You can't say, like, it's got the 5 words you can't say.
Okay.
And you have to describe Tom Cruise without saying, like, Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
You know, like, so it's difficult.
And you got somebody on your neck buzzing you if you say one of those words.
If you say the word, somebody buzzes you, and then, like, your friend, like, at the end of it, when you got no points and you weren't able to describe Tom Cruise, somebody always will be like, why didn't you say this? And everybody starts fighting. I would have got it if you said this. So anyways, where were we? Yeah, she got to play in Taboo with her friends and started talking about random things. This night's going to go downhill fast if Taboo is involved. My friend's boyfriend, Jim, kept making sexist comments, but I would try and steer the conversation to avoid creating an issue. Clearly, he did not read the room, and he decided to go on about how he does not support women's rights. He thinks women should all stay at home and take care of the kids.
So how does this end up coming up in a game of Taboo?
It's possible.
Is it?
Yeah, like a sexist will find a way. A misogynist will find a way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like, and sometimes people are like, oh, everybody will get it if I say really offensive stuff. You know, like they'll pick up what I'm putting down. But I don't know.
He probably would have brought this up if they were playing Twister.
That's true. Like, you know what?
Get it in there.
Now that I got left hand green, women need to stay in the kitchen. That's why their feet are so small, so they can stand closer to the stove.
Save all that time.
I was joking. Okay, sorry. All right. So he tried to steer the conversation. Oh, she tried to steer the conversation away. He did not read the room, went off, and everybody became instantly offended. Most of my friends there were women, and I am a woman too. We were all offended. I kept trying to tell him to just move on. Let's change the conversation, and he kept doubling down. Well, the party pretty much ended after that because everyone decided to leave. I was so upset that he had disrespected my friends in my home. My friend apologized to me for her boyfriend's behavior, but I'm not upset with her for something that he said. I haven't even received an apology from him. I'm planning a holiday party, and I want to invite her, but how do I do that and communicate that the invite is only for her? I don't want to leave her out just because of his actions, but I also don't want to ruin our friendship. And if I tell her to leave her boyfriend at home because he has no filter, that'll ruin the friendship.
Sure.
Thanks, Amy.
Okay. You guys got any advice here? Who's been here? 1-855-BERT Show. Is it time for some honesty here?
I think you should be honest, but I don't think you can invite her without inviting the boyfriend because they're a couple. So you kind of have to invite them both. If it were me, I would do that, but I would let it be known to my friend that if he comes in here and he starts talking the way he was last time, there's going to be an issue, and I would appreciate it if you spoken to him and let him know how to read the room next time.
So what do? You put it on the friend to say, look, this is how I feel about it. You can either invite him or not, but I just don't want this dude around. Or do you give her the option like, look, you could tell him to come on in, but none of these comments about men and women anymore. I don't even know that you could put a filter on that.
If the friend apologized for his behavior, if she was like, I'm so sorry for my boyfriend. Great night. Thank you so much. But sorry for him. She already knows he's a jerk. She probably, the whole car ride home was talking to him about his behavior. And when they got home, and he thinks it's funny, and he always will. And the only way I knew to break up with this guy is when I realized I had no friends left. They just stopped inviting me to stuff because of the guy. The guy that I would bring, he was a contrarian for everybody. It didn't matter.
I hate
like,
that.
Seriously, it'd be like, you know, what kind of toothpaste do you use? And he'd be like, man, women don't get paid less than men. That's a joke. Like, he could make that conversation out of thin air, and he was the freaking worst. But if my friends were like, your boyfriend's the worst, I'd be like, hey, now, I'll give you the old what for. But it was like, knowing that I wasn't being invited to anything anymore and my friends were still like hanging out, I was like, I know he's the bad thing. I'm always apologizing for him, and I know that I have to break up with him, and I figured it out.
Abby, good morning. You're part of the Bert Show. What advice can you give her? Like, her best friend's boyfriend is complete sexist, and she just doesn't want him at her house anymore.
Yeah, no, totally. So one of my old, really good friends, she was my best friend at the time. She invited her boyfriend, but now husband, to our Halloween party, and it was kind of the same situation where there was lots of different friend groups, and he got belligerently drunk, started taking off his shirt, pounding his chest, and pushing people over at my party, and it was just really, really just not cool. And so honestly, I had to have a conversation with her and say, listen, I love you, but that kind of behavior just isn't acceptable. And she was upset at first, but I think that it's worth having, especially if you really care about the friend. I think that's kind of my 2 cents.
Yeah, she knew that one was coming. I mean, that's so far over the line. Like, she probably understood that, but having a conversation with somebody more about their like attitude about things might be tougher.
That would be tougher. I was just going to ask if her friend was dating Tracy Morgan, because he's always taking his shirt off, and I think it's the funniest thing ever.
That is his move.
It is. Good morning, January. You're part of the Bert Show.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Okay. How about you?
I'm good. I think she just tell her friend straight up, like, hey, you know, you're more than welcome, but he is not. You know, I've got the same situation going on for the last 10 years with my friends. So she comes sometimes she doesn't, and that's her choice. But you got to stand on your own ground too.
Yeah, it's a tough conversation, but it's got to be had.
I think she has a good enough relationship with her friend to be like, can you come alone this time? Just you.
That'll open up the lines of communication.
Yeah, you don't have to say too much, just enough.
The Bert Show.